Hi, in this video, I want to talk about timeline and timeline therapy. You may have heard these terminologies in my previous videos, and I want to talk specifically in this very short video about timeline and timeline therapy and what they are. If you have watched my past video, I talked about how emotions are created, and I talked about Gestalt and how we create certain folders about negative emotions and how we actually act on them over time, over and over and over. But what is timeline? So in order to help you with the idea of what timeline is for you, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to really listen to it with your feelings. It's not a logical concept. It's not a conscious concept. I want to ask your unconscious and your deep feelings about this. And here's the question. If I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is and where your future is, I have an idea that you might say your past toward future is from front to back or back to front or from left to right, right to left, up to bottom, or in some other directions in relation to your body. And again, it's not the conscious concept that I'm interested in, it's unconscious. So if I were to ask your feelings and your unconscious mind where your past is, to what direction would you point at? Is it that you feel like your past is coming from your front, or it's coming from your past, or it's coming from your left or from your right, or maybe in some other directions in relation to your body? Whatever it is, trust your instincts, and that's the answer. Now, the other one, how about the future? Where do you feel your future is going to? Perfect. Now, if you didn't get that, or you're not sure, you're thinking about it. You're logically thinking about it. And I suggest you go back to the beginning of what I asked you and just listen, close your eyes, trust your feelings, and just answer the question. So, people will come up with varieties of ideas or varieties of answers. In simple ways, there are two ways that people perceive time. And the most classical way of seeing the timeline or feeling the timeline is that the timeline comes from behind, goes kind of through your body or touches your body and goes all the way to the future. And it could be in other directions as well. It's fine. It could be like coming from this angle and going through that angle, or coming from this angle and goes straight all the way straight to the future. It might be curved shape. It might be a little bit sloped upwards or something like that. In other way of looking at timeline or considering timeline or feeling timeline, the timeline is perceived as a line that is stretched out in front of you. And some of you, I'm sure, have perceived it this way, that one way, left or right of yours, is past and the other one is the future. So what is the implication of that? The implication is this: if somehow you perceived time that goes through your body or touches your body, all right, you are considered, or you are called, an in time. In time. Why are you called in time? Because to you, where is the present moment? Most probably you say where you're standing, because if it touches your body, now or present moment is where you are standing or sitting, right? That's right. But if you are seeing or perceiving that time, or feeling kind of that your line is in front of you and it doesn't touch your body, you're called through time or a through time. Why through time? Because you are able to see past through future at one glance. With one look, you're able to see past and future and now. And where is now? Exactly in front of you. All right? And this is very interesting. The way you perceive time shows certain behaviors of yours in the future. All right? Why? Because in time people are usually inside the time. So they may not notice that the time is passing by or how much time they have and everything, because they are inside time. And if they are doing something, they may forget about the time. it's difficult for them to measure time because they are so inside the time that they forget about everything. And for these people, being punctual, being on time is challenging. Unless they are trained, they learn that. However, the second category of through time people perceive time in a different manner. Since they see it outside, they may not get engaged or immersed into time or into what they do, as we call like with state of flow. But what they do or what they experience is that they always have this consideration or awareness of time. And it's like they know how much time they have and they keep calculating how much time they have and they want to plan for everything. If an in time, with a line that touches the body in any direction, wants to like get some money, he or she may probably wants to like spend that money soon because they will have fun with that. But a through time person is going to consider everything in advance. They're going to plan ahead. Okay, I need to save this much, I can invest this, or I need to be careful because in the future I need this and everything. And this is one of the major differences in time and through time. If you attend my one-on-one coaching sessions, or if you attend one of my NLP and timeline therapy courses that we call, and that are called Design Your Life, we are going to have like more experience and more information about each category, and you're going to understand it at a deeper level. So, however, I told you about that because that was your perceived timeline. Why is it timeline? Because it's a kind of line that you perceive around you, all right, in which memories are being stored. So if I perceive my past in the past and future in front of me, I am kind of remembering, or I can remember certain memories of the past, and I feel like previous memory of mine was here yesterday, last week, last year, and as I go back, I go to my childhood and other times. And in future, of course, I have certain ideas about my future. And if I don't have certain ideas about future, maybe my line toward future is kind of dark or vague. But of course, there are different types of interpretation. I invite you to not conclude based on what I just said in this short video simply. So this is basically the timeline of us. Now, what is timeline therapy? Well, we use the term timeline therapy, it's a trademark, and there is another name for timeline therapy that we call the secret of creating your future. The secret of creating your future. And here's what timeline therapy is very, very good at, or the best or very effective at. And here it is. Timeline therapy is one of the best techniques, one of the fastest and most effective techniques as of now, in order for us to get rid of negative emotions and limiting beliefs. So what that means is, if we have certain emotions of anger or frustration or sadness or fear or hurt or guilt inside, we will be repeating them repeatedly over and over without realizing that this is us, that we do that. So with timeline therapy, we are able to go to the past along the timeline somehow in order to experience something. And what we do in timeline therapy is that we go to the very first event that we call the root cause of our emotions, that particular emotion, and we get certain learnings out of that. We reprogram the unconscious, we give the unconscious mind certain conclusions, and those conclusions or learnings will be new instructions for the unconscious mind to act on or act upon. And this is how we change our actions unconsciously. So timeline therapy is the best technique for us in order to get rid of negative emotions, to release negative emotions from the body, and to remove limiting beliefs. If you notice, I did not use the term to remove negative emotions because, first of all, negative emotions are not bad. Second of all, because from time to time we may need them. Second of all, negative emotions are useful at some point in life, so we need to have them. And of course, the second point is that all these negative emotions are in our instincts. So I cannot delete completely, I cannot shift and delete every emotion of negative in mind. And if I do that, then I become a robot. Because imagine if I can't feel sad, I can't empathize with people after watching a sad movie or sad incident or talking to a person who is sad after a trauma. I just smile or I just blink and I don't react emotionally. So that's a good thing. Guilt is also good sometimes because it allows me to find out what is right and what is not right and what I can do. All right? So these are basically and definitely very, very important for us to realize. Now that you notice the timeline, timeline therapy as a technique allows you to go back to the root cause or the very, very first event in which you experience that. You may ask, okay, how? I don't know. Yes, you don't know. And this is not something that you do consciously. This is what I do in my one-on-one coaching practices and inside classroom. And definitely I invite you to give me a call or talk to me or go to my website at www.dralirezasharifi.com and you will be able to book a 20-minute free consultation with me. And if you have any question or any concerns, I will be able to answer. But before I finish this video, there is one last thing that I want us to do. And I want you to do this by listening to me very carefully and doing that. First of all, I want you to make sure that you sit somewhere very comfortably. So sit upright and be comfortable. Sit in a position that you're comfortable totally and completely. All right? And whenever you're ready, just look around first and close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Take it all in through your nose and let it out. Exhale through your mouth. Do that 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and in fact as many times as you want, because this kind of breathing is going to allow your system to relax. And as you do, I want you to notice the presence of your timeline in the same arrangement that you imagined and you felt comfortable with. You don't need to change anything. That was right, and you were right, because that was your timeline. So as you do, now as your eyes are closed and you're imagining your timeline, I want you to imagine just like spirits that leave the body and they go up, float up above now, just like a drone, just like a helicopter, all right? And be that helicopter or drone and go up. So you're above your head, you're looking at yourself and you're going up higher, 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 and higher. Go up so high and imagine that you can look through the ceiling and you can see yourself sitting there with your timeline and its directions to the past and to the future. Good, good. When you reach above now, I want you to, by maintaining your altitude and distance to your timeline, along the timeline, to go to the past. It doesn't matter where, just go toward the past. Go farther, go farther, go farther to the past, go farther to the past, and stop somewhere. Wherever you are, it's fine. Just stop there. Perfect. Now, just come towards now again, along the timeline and maintain your altitude. Come back again, come back again, come back again, come back again, until you're exactly above now. You may have visual effects, or it might be something like sounds in the sky or in the air, or it could be some kind of like feeling. Whatever you do, it's totally fine. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now that you are above now, I want you to, as you look toward your future, all right, go farther back again to the past. But as you go to the past, I want you to go up higher. So you're going farther back and you are going up higher. You're going farther back, you're going up higher. Go farther back, higher, back, farther back, higher and higher, and higher. Perfect. Wherever you are, just stop there. You're almost done. Right there. Perfect. Now, with this new distance, of course, you are much higher than what we were before. I want you to go out to the future. Go all the way along the timeline toward now and past now and go toward the future. Maintain your distance. Go toward the future, go toward the future, go toward the future, and stop somewhere in the future. Perfect. Wherever you are, it's just fine. Don't go down, just stay there. Perfect. Now, last step, very last step, I want you to go up from where you are, go up higher. Go up higher, go up higher, so high. I want you to go up so high that your timeline becomes as small as 1 inch long. Just 1 inch long. Because when you go farther and farther and farther, your timeline gets smaller because you're like increasing and enhancing your distance, right? Perfect. And finally, nicely and easily, go down and go down, get closer to your timeline, get closer to your timeline, find now, and go all the way down and all the way down until you see your body, yourself, and you go back to your body. And once you get back to your body, you can open your eyes and look around and come back into the room. Perfect. Perfect. Good. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what timeline is. And with timeline therapy, we are going to maneuver and we are going to float above now and above the timeline. And we are going to do certain fixations or changes into our unconscious mind in order to let go of negative beliefs and limiting beliefs and negative emotions. Until then, I am Dr. Ali Reza Sharifi, and I'll see you there.